Good morning, everybody. We're going to be traveling towards the sun today. But first, I got to travel away from it. Trying to decide if I should go down Sahara or Oki. I think I'm going to take Oki. I know what I'll do. I'll go down Oki and cut through a neighborhood where a friend of mine used to live, and then I will take Alta. Alta is like the nicest and safest street to take for cyclists. Get locked in here, and then we go. So I've taken my car in to get some maintenance and get some work done. It's just before the warranty expires, so I'm going to turn right here. So just so you know what's going on with the car, not a big deal. Got a slight transmission issue. Could be transmission. We had an issue with the brakes. Could be something having to do with that. Not the brakes itself, but we had an issue with the brakes where the caliper came off and got jammed into the front wheel, and that may have caused a further issue, so I have to get it checked out. Don't know if that goes through the Oki. Duneville, I believe, does. Let's check it out. Yeah, it does. It's a street that I go on a few times. So I have to have that checked out, plus mass airflow sensors throwing a code. I think it's the sensor itself not causing any engine trouble, just throwing a code. So if that's covered under warranty, which it should be, have that replaced. Rear suspension soft. It's under 100,000 miles. I got myself a full warranty, so that should be covered under the warranty. I did pay for that. Last I priced out shocks, it was about $55 a shock, and I think it was about 120 for the work. So it ends up being about $230, somewhere around there now. Sorry, I'm riding into the sun. It's just the direction I have to go. Oh, okay. I didn't realize he was turning because you can't see a signal. I just saw him coming forward. That's a pretty nice house. That is a really nice house. Huge. This is the old rich side of Vegas. There's a few of these around here. That's a church. At least it used to be. Yeah, it still is. So this is Right Hook City here. Going downhill so I can pick up some good speed, but I do have to be careful. So I used to work in this corner building right here, not the 7-Eleven, but where it says Paradise Flooring. It wasn't a flooring company though. This used to be a big, huge furniture store, and they were constantly going out of business. It was the liquidation sale, final liquidation sale. I mean, for years it was, they're going out of business. They finally did. Now it's a swap meet, but they didn't want to change the sign, so they kept it Fantastic Indoor Swap Meet. So I'm going to turn left at this light. See what it looks like behind us. Nice and clear. I had oatmeal this morning. That was not a good idea. I guess I could ride in the shoulder here. It's nice and clean. I like oatmeal. It just, I have a hard time digesting it. I don't know why. Lots of glass. Here's more Old Rich part. Yeah, here I'm not going to cower in the side because that's not a very good side over there. This is an interesting street. I don't like it. We're gonna go left. Smells like weed. This street, the speed limit's 35, but nobody ever does it. Usually doing 45 to 50. This one that I'm crossing here, speed limit's 45, most people do 35. Go figure. Look at that cool little ice cream truck. I had a car accident in this stoplight once. This is before all of that stuff was built there. I was in the left lane where that Honda is. I should say the Civic. And a lady pulled out from this side here and went all the way across the street. Oh man. I have to pull over for a bit. She went all the way across the street and hit me. And it was a bummer. I gotta tighten this down. It likes to come off. Don't know why. There we go. It'll be a while before that comes off. Anyway, so what happened was the light was green for me, and this guy decided to come to a complete stop at the green light. So in her defense, she was looking at traffic. She wasn't looking at the light, but she was looking at traffic. And seeing him stop made her think, oh, I can go ahead and go. So she did. This is the biggest roundabout in town. And when she stopped, or when she went, I was going down the street, and she decided since traffic had stopped, she could go all the way across the street, and she did, and I hit her. She actually hit me. Cop was like, "You didn't see this," because I was in a green and yellow van. "You didn't see this big, huge green and yellow van?" It's pretty funny. Look at that. I understand you're pulling out from your house and stuff, but that doesn't make that any better. Slick green paint. Looks nice. Interesting trailer over there. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the rules of cycling here in the state of Nevada. Number one, helmet law. These have recently changed. They've actually become more lenient. It used to be that if it went over 25 miles an hour, no matter what it was, you had to wear a helmet. Law has changed. You don't have to, I think, unless it goes over 35 and it's not enclosed. So I think they've ruled that if you're over the age of 18, bicycles don't have to have helmets. Motorcycles, I believe, do. On your left. Good morning. Anyway, So if you're over the age of 18, you don't have to wear a helmet. Like that guy didn't have to wear a helmet. That's perfectly okay in this state now. Children under the age of 18 do. And you know, that's a really hard one to enforce. But, and it's not even, it's not all the time. It's only if they're riding on the blacktop. If they're riding on the sidewalk, whatever. They don't have to wear helmets, which I would argue is actually more dangerous. I wonder why that's there. I would argue that's actually more dangerous than riding in the street. One, the sidewalk is a lot more bumpy and prone to crashes because they jump off of it and stuff. And not only that, people backing out of driveways are really dangerous. People crossing into driveways and not seeing the kids on the sidewalk, stuff like that. But that's the law here. They're under the age of 18 and on the street, they must wear a helmet. I know some people will say, well, it doesn't decrease fatalities. No. It specifically decreases fatalities via head injury. But it does not decrease fatalities per se, because there are many other things that can kill you. That was a safer choice rather than risking it. It's far enough in front of me that I could see a signal and adjust accordingly. All right. Rules of direction of traffic. Cyclists must ride with the direction of traffic, not against traffic. There's a lot of disagreement on that. People say, yeah, but if you ride with traffic, you can't see the idiot coming up behind you. I know. And I worry about that too. Trouble is, I don't know if you know how fast I'm going. I'm doing about 20 miles an hour. The speed limit here is 30. Most people go 35 to 40. Okay, the math is that if I'm going with traffic at 20 miles an hour and they're doing 40, then the differential between the two is 20. I don't know if I want to pull up next to that bus, especially with these cones in the way. I probably won't. Let the bus stay there. I won't go in front of them. Now, that 20-mile-an-hour difference means that they are basically approaching me at 20 miles an hour. And therefore, they have a lot more time to react and say, oh, I'm doing this wrong, and adjust. This guy really has no idea how close he is. Neither does this guy. Okay, I'm going to go up in front of this bus now because there are a couple of cars there. That way he can see me. Yeah, but you can't avoid what you can't see. True. You can't. But they can. They can avoid what they can see. Come on, dude. Get out of the bike lane. Whoa, that's slick. Slick, slick, slick. Pull it. Also, see, the thing is that a lot of people don't realize is that cars, especially the big ones, are not very easy to maneuver. They can't travel laterally, so they need some time to react. So this lane jumps over here. What was that? That was a little rock. I probably should have turned left here, but go down a little further. Well, because they can't move laterally and they need more time to react, it works better if they have that time. Riding against traffic decreases that time and makes it even more difficult. What happens when you ride against traffic is that I'm going 20 miles an hour and someone's coming at me at 40 miles an hour. The differential is 60 miles an hour. In this particular case, it's 3 times faster. much less reaction time. I think I can go this way. Let's see. Yeah, I can go this way. Shouldn't have to look left, but in this town you never know. Anyway, let's say the speed limit was 45. People are doing 55, and I'm doing 20. Now they're coming at me at 75 miles an hour. The other direction, 35. Let's try 45 and 15. So now they're coming at me at 30 from behind, or coming at me face on at 60. Pretty much doubles it. Get down Bridger. Maybe to Maryland Parkway or something. There's a street blocked off over there. Now you notice that every time I pull out, I look to see what's behind me. I'm not one of those idiots that just pulls out, because that's just, it's not a good idea. We'll continue down Carson. What is this, Fremont? We'll continue, not Carson, that was Carson back there. This is 10th. Let this guy by. Ogden. This is my old route. Yeah, dude, you gotta stop too. Hate when they do that. That's where I saw Nicolas Cage. Woo! I actually saw him twice that day. One, he was over in Fremont, just right over that way. Actually, it was further down. I passed by him in the van I was driving, and then later that day, as I was riding home, passed by him on that corner. They were filming a movie. You know what? I have no idea what the movie was. To this day, I haven't a clue. I should probably watch a bunch of Nicolas Cage movies and figure out which one it was and say, hey, I saw him when he was there. There's one cycle. All right, further talk. We already talked about the differential. What's this dude doing? Okay. There's a car behind me, but he's not tripping the sensor because he's not close enough. Now, in the case of an impact, it's much, much less from behind than it is from the front. This isn't fun. I hate construction zones. Mainly because I have to take the lane when I'm in them. It's been a long time since I've been on this hill. Riding on the sidewalk. It's actually legal here. I don't do it. I don't find it to be safe, but it is legal. There's some areas where it's not, and that's right downtown. That's fine. The sidewalks are crowded and it's best not to be there. There we go. But as far as here goes, see how that guy's pulling out right there? Well, he's looking at me right now because I'm out in the street and he can see me. He's looking to see cars that can hurt him. On the sidewalk, people expect pedestrians. They don't look for things that go as fast as I'm going. They look for people walking at about 3 to 4 miles an hour. And they expect those people to stop and wait and not try to travel through. So when someone is looking, they look at the sidewalk just to make sure they don't hit anybody. And then they ignore the sidewalk after that. And I've found that riding on the sidewalk brings many more close calls than actually riding out in the lane like I am now. I used to ride on the sidewalk. When I first started commuting, I rode on the sidewalk a lot because I felt it's safer. And I would find myself getting so mad at people just pulling right out in front of me. Then I saw all the things about you need to ride on the street. So I said, okay, I'll try it. So I rode here. To be honest, that's not much better. If any of you have been following me, you can recognize this area. I used to ride this all the time. But yeah, I used to ride here. And I actually stopped because, see how bumpy this is? This is what made me stop riding over there. I said, okay, I'm gonna ride here and see if it's smoother, and it was. And then I noticed that as I did that, I would get more people not pulling out in front of me. So they wouldn't pull out in front of me, and I was okay. I'm gonna go down Mojave. There's a really nasty construction zone over there. So I'm gonna go down Mojave. I go down Mojave and go up Washington. Oh, there's a nasty construction zone here too. I can't avoid them. Dang it. Anyway, I also found it gave me plenty of room to maneuver if there were rocks, things like that. I could always go this way and not have to go out into traffic. And anyway, so on wider areas, I started riding a little further out, and on more narrow areas, I would still ride clear over in the gutter. Now, it didn't happen much on the way down, because on the hill coming down, I started riding out. Because I was going faster, I felt I needed a little more time, so I would take the lane. And since I was going a lot faster, I felt cars had a lot more time to react and not be jerks about it. But going up, I usually mustered a speed about this fast, a little bit slower. And so I would ride in the gutter. This guy pass, and then we'll take it. So I was riding in the gutter, and first car would pass me with decent space. Second car usually would pass okay. And all of a sudden a mirror would smack my elbow, or a mirror would smack my handlebars, hit the back of my hand. A couple of them hit me so hard they knocked me down. And it happened over and over and over with different people. All the time I'd go to work with my elbow bruised. Oh, what happened? Someone hit me with their mirror. Two. A bit close there, bud. Anyway. So that was really frustrating. It didn't happen like every day, It happened once, twice a week. Usually it was like they'd nick my hand just barely, or seldom were they real strong. I had one lady stop her car and get out and say, "You have no right to touch my car." And I was like, "You hit me. You have no right to touch my car. You reached out." I said, "No, I didn't. You hit me." I'm like, I don't want to be hit. So then I was talking to a coworker friend of mine, and he was riding motorcycles. And I told him about two annoyances. One was that. Let's go through the park. One was that, and the other was that where can I go up? The other one was that when I was sitting in a light, people would come up next to me. Good morning. Ooh, there's water here. On your left. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So just like when I'm in the bike lane, someone pulls up next to me. Well, when there wasn't enough room, and I'm sitting there on the right, I'd have someone right next to me. And I'm like, I can touch you. You're like right there. It's not 3 feet away. On your right. Good morning. Good morning. So I told my friend about those, and he said, "Get in the center of the lane." I said, "What? Are you crazy?" He goes, "No." I said, "Why would I do that?" And he says, "Well, as a motorcyclist, I have the same width that you do. And a lot of these drivers don't care about you. And so when you put yourself on the side like that, they will squeeze by you because they think you're allowing them to pass." He said, "I've been doing 75 miles an hour in a 65 and been the right hand of the lane, and some car will pass me." Yeah, when someone's slowing down, you look for a reason why. So he said, when you have no bike lane, get in the middle of the lane, or these guys will crowd you out. They'll push you to the side. But if you're in the middle of the lane, they can't pass you in that lane. So they'll move over. And they think in terms of lines, because that's how we're taught. Stay in your line, stay in your lane. So I started to do that, and all of a sudden, the smacks in the handlebars and hand and elbow stopped. And you know what? A lot of people think, yeah, but they might have been replaced by punishment passes and threats and beeps and stuff. No, actually, they were honestly replaced by people changing lanes and going around. All right, this is 15. I should slow down. Didn't even think. School zone's active, but there is. I don't think there are any students here. I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of summer school program. Anyway, more rules, bike lanes. Am I relegated to bike lanes? No. I can use that lane anytime I want. In fact, I think I'm going to turn left here. I forgot about this. That was a bad turn. I should have planned a little better. Fortunately, there was no danger, but that was a really dumb turn. I acknowledge that. Do I have to stay in the bike lane? The answer is no. I know people think that I do, but I don't. I can take any lane for any reason, and I don't have to hug the curb. I can move out for any reason that I feel necessary, because it is my safety that I am concerned with. Are cars allowed in bike lanes? The answer is no. They are not. Let's see. I think I'll go up this way. There used to be a gate there. It's not there anymore. Huh, I guess I could have gone up that way. Oh well. Motor vehicles of any kind are not allowed in bike lanes. So you, with the scooter that can only muster 15 miles an hour, it's got a motor on it. You cannot be in the bike lane. The only ones that can be considered in bike lanes are e-bikes. They have a motor. It's really weak, but they have a motor. And the wheel feels weird. And they are allowed in bike lanes. Mopeds, bicycles with a little gas engine on them, those are not allowed in bike lanes. Even though they are not registered, they don't have to be registered, they are still not allowed in bike lanes. There are some exceptions. Probably should have started with that. There's glass everywhere. The exceptions are if you are making a turn, you can, oh man, never seen this much glass here. If you are making a turn, you can make a perpendicular turn and go across the bike lane. If you're pulling out, you can pull out and go across the bike lane. If you are making a turn, you cannot move over and then go across the bike lane unless there are dotted lines to allow you to do so. Yeah, they got a tracker way down there in the tunnel. Workers like these guys are allowed to come down here at any time. Good morning. Someone left a sweater dress. On your left. Good morning. Okay. What about if your car breaks down? That's actually stated in the rules. If your car is disabled and unable to continue, you may move it into the bike lane to get it out of the way of vehicular traffic. Now, it does pose a danger to cyclists, but remember, cyclists are moving. They're not still. The differential between someone who is not moving and someone who is much greater. So, even if the cyclist is going 10 miles an hour, that's 10 miles an hour faster than that car that's not moving. If cyclists were relegated to cycle lanes only and were not allowed to leave them, then even a broken down car has no business in a bike lane. That's just the way it should be. But it's not. We have a little bit of freedom here. I usually let people pass me here because this lane narrows and they don't move over. You know what? I don't even think I've white balanced my camera. I think I got the indoor white balance on, darn it. Oh no. No, it's on auto. It should be fine. That's pretty. Now, does that mean I want to be out here with the cars? No. I don't like it. Just as much as you don't like me here, I don't want to be here. But it is the safer alternative. So I stay with it. You know what that means? So that guy right there driving in the bike lane for no apparent reason has no right to do so. Not even a dotted line here. And he's doing it again. I think now he's turning on. Nope. Just cruising in the bike lane. Yeah, you ain't allowed to do that, buddy. Yes, I said ain't. Figured someone like that would understand that word. Nice, strong headwind. Another one ran the stop sign. Why don't I move over here? Well, there's a whole other lane. See this car passing the cyclist? Yeah, he's got plenty of room. But in the state of Nevada, he really and truly needs to move over a lane. That is the law. And you can be seen easier out here. People actually pay attention. On your left. Good morning. How are you? Good. get off this road. Let's go this way. Hand signals. Are cyclists required to use hand signals? Hold on. Pause for a moment to look at that beauty. Oh yeah. If at all possible, they should. I think I left his gas cap off. You may have seen some of my hand signals. The hand signals that are legal in the state of Nevada are left turn, left arm straight out. Slow or stop, left arm out and down at a 45-degree angle. Right turn, you can use two. Left arm out and turned up at the elbow. Looks like you're waving. A lot of people think you are, so they'll wave at you when you do it. It's pretty funny. The other option is right arm extended straight out. None of this pointing like that. That's not what you do. It's left arm straight out, left arm down, right arm straight out, or left arm out and turned. Why is that? Well, because those hand signals were developed so that cars could do them. In the early days, when cars were first invented, they actually came to Nevada and became a nuisance. They didn't have turn signals on them. They didn't know how to do the relays yet. So, plus, since cars were providing their own spark, they weren't necessarily battery powered like a spark is battery powered today with an alternator or generator. Because they were providing their own spark, they had to have a way to let people know what you were doing. I love the sound of a diesel. I also like the look of the Challenger. So that's what they did. They developed a way so that people driving cars could tell what was going on. Shortly thereafter, they invented turn signals and brake lights. That way, people driving cars, you know what, I'm gonna go up the street just to take a look. There's no outlet here, so I'm gonna end up coming back. But I dig that house. looking to see if there are any hot rod cars. Anything interesting. That house looks like it was abandoned. I'm gonna check on that. I don't think I've ever been up here. That is a nice house. Little casita. Those are illegal to build now. Ooh. And it paid off. Look at that beauty. Oh yeah. And that. I haven't seen one of those in that. That old Thunderbird is gorgeous. Oh yeah. Hope you got a good look at that. That was pretty. Anyway, so when they invented turn signals, they said, we can use those. Then they started to notice that turn signals don't always work. Not that people don't use them, but sometimes when they do, the light bulbs go out, or the relay doesn't work, or the switch breaks or something. You know, they get used, they break. I wonder if that house back there is abandoned. Anyway, so they figured we'll keep those turn signals active, the hand ones, so that when their turn signals break, they'll be able to use them and they'll be okay. And then they said, you know what, we need cyclists to do the same thing, because that way it's universal. They discovered that a problem was that people would start driving and forget the cycling stuff. When you're in a car, you can't stick your right hand out the window. At least in the United States, you can't. You wouldn't see anything. The driver can't do that. So they'd have to have a passenger with them all the time to do that. And they don't. So they developed the left-hand method. And they made that universal so that both cyclists and motorists have the ability to use those signals. I think my camera's about to die, so anyway, what I wanted to say was cyclists are supposed to use the signals, but if it compromises their stability during a turn or heavy braking, they find it safer if they don't. I'm gonna go left here. The sun is starting to get to me. If you're curious, it's about between 85 and 90 degrees. Fahrenheit, obviously, but yeah. Let's go this way. There's no outlet this way, I just want to go this way. Look around, relax. That's interesting. Those are ceramic flowers. Here's another interesting thing. I believe it's this one right here at the end. Yeah, I think it's that one. The guy that invented Velcro, his wife was living there for a while. I don't know if it's his ex-wife and got a bunch of money from the settlement or whatever, or if it was his late wife, or however you say it, his widowed wife. But she was living there for many years. Beautiful house. I'll have to look up the public records and see if that was her place or if that was just a wives' tale. Because it could have been. But that's what I was told. This is a fairly steep climb. Don't know if you can tell. Oh look, because you know what? It might have been this house. These are nice. I dig that garage, but my vehicle would have a hard time getting through that. I like that one though. Yeah, that's a pretty door. Hey kids, look, there's no stop sign. Why would you want your home electrical to be right there? It must be solar. Still, why would you want that? Oh. I don't think this lets out. I think I gotta go down or something. All right, you get a better tour. Sweet. Somebody likes Suburbans. Oh no, those are Yukon? Denali? I don't remember. I think Denali is a trim level. I don't remember the GMC equivalent of the Suburban. I think the Yukon is the equivalent of the Tahoe. Oh, my wheel didn't stop. I'm going on a downhill. Stop signs. I am supposed to come to a stop. Complete stop at every stop sign. So is every car. I'm supposed to come to a complete stop at every red light. If I'm making a right turn, I need to come to a complete stop, verify that it's clear, and then make a right turn. Every car must do the same. Take it slow. The wind is cool enough. But it's getting hotter. For $89, they must suck. I had a car accident a while back and some dude beeped at me and told me to get my car out of the road. I'm like, my car can't move. It's broken. Good morning. Well, this is the end of the line, folks. A bit of a downhill steam here, and I'll be at my destination soon, so you guys take care. Hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed riding. Click those buttons, you know what to do. I'll be seeing you on your left.